Hey folks, Mark here at RC Aviation and Crawling Pacific Northwest. I'm right next to the road here, so I apologize in advance for some traffic noise that we're going to have. But I got some comments about from some nice folks who watched my video and was wondering about my WINGTIP video camera setup, how I was going about that. And so I thought I'd do a video about that real quick here. Alright, so here's the airplane ready to fly with the camera. So we'll start off with the camera. Now, I can put it on either wingtip, but right now I've got the camera here. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn on the camera right now. Alright. Alright, so there's the camera, and you can see the view that we got, which is the view that I want. The small, let's say, this is my favorite camera angle of all time. So this is my preferred setup. But it's not my only setup. I put the camera elsewhere too, but this is really my preferred setup because you can really see everything, takeoff, landing. You can see how cool the plane looks and how cool the scenery looks too. But anyway, so that's what I got going on now. This is a very primitive setup made from common, ordinary, household items. But it's really, really effective from my experience. All right, so go ahead and turn that off. Turn that off. There we go. Alright, so the first thing that we have here is we have Velcro on top of the camera. Let's see. Okay, it's hard to see. Hey, let me turn on the video light. Video light. Let's see, we got it? Yeah, I think we got video light now, do we? Yeah, okay, so the first thing we've got is at the dead center screen. There's Velcro on top of the camera, both towards the back here and also towards the front there. Now, up in here, okay, so now where's my finger? There we go. Now right up in here, there's some Velcro on the plane, which is Velcro hook, and then I've got a stack of Velcro pile on the camera, and that gives me the angle that I want, the downward angle that I want, while at the same time securing the camera, both to the front and in the back, okay? And then I've also got a super primary thing, is this here. This is a hair tie. Yep, plain old couple of hair ties that I put together. I tied them together and then I put a duct tape here to kind of protect the plane from getting gouged. Now I do have a little dent here that I made intentionally. And I made this little dent intentionally to be absolutely positive that this could not come off the plane. So I got that little there, so I know to put it there. And then I've got also a little slight indentation right here. So that prevents this setup from coming off. Now you can see that the hair ties are connected to the camera. See, hair ties are connected to the camera, go under the camera, and all the way around the other side. All the way around the other side. Yeah, and see? So that holds the camera in place snugly, along with the Velcro. And then the third thing that I have is this strap here. Now it comes off down here. I just pull it off like that. And once I got the camera, the angle that I want, and I've pressed it up against the wing so the Velcro is really secured. Once I've done that, then the final thing is this comes from here and comes down and wraps around and it attaches to the bottom of the camera. So that, I'll show you here, that makes it solid. See, I'm trying to wiggle it. It ain't wiggling worth diddly. See? Side to side like that. The plane's moving, the wing's moving, but the camera's not moving. This camera's really, really solid. Yeah? On a landing, she'll bounce a little bit. But we want some shock absorption, but it's pretty dang solid, and on most of the landings, it doesn't move very much. Yeah, because I'm being sure to have it really snug. So I got that really snug on there, as you can see. Forward, this way and back, snug, side to side snug, all snug. Okay, so that keeps the camera on here. Now, obviously, now here's an interesting thing. Just for a learning experience, I tried flying as we see it here without any counterweights. I tried flying it as we see here without any counterweights, and what happened is I had to give it a whole bunch of left aileron to counteract the weight over here wanting to make it go right. Well, in order to give it enough left aileron to raise the wing, left turn aileron to raise this wing, which wanted to drop, in order to do that, it put the plane into a turn. So I had to use the rudder to counteract the turn that was happening to counteract the weight of this thing. So the plane was kind of flying like this. It was kind of flying, sort of like this, sort of diagonally. It's flying really weird. But it was good to know that if the counterweight fell off, the plane is still flyable. Quite flyable. It's not fun, but it's quite flyable, including a good landing can be done without the counterweight. But it's a little little nerve-wracking. But I did use a counterweight after that experiment, and we'll look at the counterweight over here now. And I'm going to pick up the airplane like this. All right, there you go. Pick up the airplane like this. Okay, so there's my camera there. Crude looking, but highly effective. Now here's my counterweight, all right? So we've got an ordinary bolt from the hardware store, and we've got, I believe it's 6/4 duct taped into a little package there. Now these two are Velcroed on to the opposite side of the wing, all right? Now, after I put on these counterweights to counterbalance the weight of the camera and battery, it wasn't quite enough. So rather than adding more weight to the plane over here, because this, what I've got on here now, the camera and the counterweights add a fair amount of weight, so the plane's a little bit heavier and a little bit, you know, just a little bit heavier, not quite as floaty and stuff, but perfectly manageable. But it does change things. So instead of adding more weight to the plane and bogging it down even more, because I needed more weight towards the direction of where we're looking now, I went ahead and mounted the battery on its edge. Now you can see that the battery is in the far left half of the battery compartment towards the counterweights. So the battery being mounted on its edge and to our left, camera left, made it so I didn't have to add more weight. I just took the weight of the battery, which we already had, and moved that weight opposite away from the camera. And so the combination of the battery being mounted to camera left and the counterweights being installed counter left, that balances things out beautifully. You can see I've got that gray deal in the middle is a foam styrofoam. It's a duct tape wrapped styrofoam shim. It's a shim. It goes underneath the battery strap. You can just see the battery strap there, center screen. So the shim goes right next to the battery. They both get strapped in, and that shim makes it impossible for the battery to move to camera right. It's impossible. And then on this end of the battery underneath, I have Velcro, so it can't move that way, and so it's in here very, very solid. And I have a line. You see, it says F. That's my battery front of battery position for floats flying. Then you see the arrow, the little arrow. That's for when I have the tires on. And then in the middle is a really long line, and that's where the battery end goes for flying with the camera, whether floats or tires. So that's how we do it. Simple. Camera, battery position, helping to counterweight the situation, and removable counterweights are picking up the slack the rest of the way. So now the last thing to show you, folks, is, let's see if I can set this plane down carefully. Sorry about that. Okay, now the last thing to show you, folks, is I want to show you how the CG, because and I'm going to lean the camera on something on the ground here like this. Now the next thing I show you, the CG. Now we got to make sure the CG is not only correct front to back, aka forward to aft, but we got to make sure the CG is right side to side. So it's not only got to be right, front to back, it's got to be right this way. Okay, so first we'll check the CG forward to back using my marks. Okay, so that's correct. That's my forward and aft CG exactly how I want it. I hope you can see that, folks. I hope you can see it. Okay, now, perhaps more importantly, we'll come back here. Just want to make sure you can see that. All right, so more importantly, in this case, is the side to side. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the prop spinner here, and then I'm putting my fingers under here, like this, and we'll check our balance side to side. Okay. Get this a better job here. Let me find a better spot. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Let me center my finger. Center the finger. Okay, there we go. It's hard to see. I'm trying to get my finger really centered under the fuselage here. That. Oh. Here we go. All right, can you see that, folks? It's hard to see. So I want to tip a little bit to the left. So we're going to move Just want to tip a little bit to the left. Which way? Tip there. That's actually right. That's right. See that? That's right. It's balancing left and right. That's how I want it. I'm bumping it with my jacket, but yeah, that's the right balance, folks. Right there. It's hard to see, but that's the right balance right there, and that's how I do it. And then another little thing is now, this isn't solid as a rock. It is Velcro and elastic, so it's not bomb-proof. So what I do is whenever I can, I take off. Let's say I'm going to fly off the grass. Well, whenever I can, I'll take off from something else. Like if there's a bit of smooth dirt or a paved pathway that's completely vacant, I'll take off on a smoother surface to avoid maybe knocking the camera a little bit loose, or the counterweight's a little bit loose. So I'll take off on as smooth of a surface as I can. Then during the landing, it's okay because it's at the end of the flight. Also, if it's wet, rather than spraying stuff all over the camera, water and muddy water, instead of spraying that all over the camera from taking off on the grass, same thing. I'll take off from a baseball diamond if I can, or someplace that's smoother and less wet and won't throw stuff up on the camera and ruin my video. So there it is, folks. That is the system. Got the camera there, Velcro, hair ties, rock solid. Not rock solid, but dang solid. And then we got the counterweight over there. We got the battery positioned towards this way, away from the camera, so that the battery being positioned over here, its weight being off center this way, and the counterweight combined balances out the plane. Okay, folks, this is Mark at RC Aviation and calling Pacific Northwest, and there you go. That's how I did it. By the way, I should mention that this camera, I love this camera, folks. It was $90. It's a AKA. Here it says on the screen when we turn it on. Akaso, see, AKAASO. It is the, I think it's the EX7000 model, I believe. I've got a video on my channel that talks about this camera, what it is and how much it cost and all that. But I haven't done a review yet, so I'm just doing a micro review right now saying I think this camera is fantastic. The only problem I've had with it is that it doesn't want to do you have to pick a recording length, 3 minutes or 5 minutes. If you try to do, which is called looping. If you do a 3-minute or a 5-minute video looping, everything's great. If you try to do no video looping, which means it'll just go as long as you want until you hit stop recording, it doesn't want to work that way. It only wants to do the looping, which is fine. A 5-minute flight is usually long enough, and if I want to do a really extra long extended flight, I can just have a 2-part video. But this is a fantastic camera, in my opinion. $90 from Amazon. All right, thanks for watching. See you soon. Mark, showing the camera mounting setup for this bird, and we'll see you soon, I hope. By the way, thanks for all the comments, folks. Thanks for the views. Thanks to my subscribers. I got 30 subscribers now on my brand spanking new channel, and I'm getting some nice comments, and I'm enjoying interacting with the community on my channel, and as always, I'm really enjoying interacting with the community on your channels, watching your cool content. All right, see you soon. Bye.